Good evening, everybody. You have tuned in to Authors Up, our favorite place to be on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining us. And this is a great show that you might want to share with somebody else. We have a wonderful author who has written an absolutely amazing book that we are going to share with you this evening. So we're glad that you came in. Good evening, Nikayetta. Thank you for joining us from New York, and Linda's in the house from right here in North Carolina. Thank you for being here. And we're going to start the way that we always start. First of all, I want to invite my co-hosts in to give their greetings to you. Good evening, Queen Victoria. How are you doing?
Good evening. The Queen is lovely.
Lovely, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. How about you, Ruth? How you doing tonight?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Glad to be back.
Yes. We're all in our places with sunshiny faces.
We can't begin to tell you how glad we are.
I'm sure.
But I tell you, we are going to start our program like we usually do, and we give our week in review. This week we definitely have something different for you, because we are going to let you enjoy Ruth's travel log. I didn't have anything going on in my week.
I don't believe that, but you said you wanted to yield to Ruth, and I get it.
What was happening with Ruth, and Ruth has been all over everywhere. I like to say it that way, because you have had an exciting adventure over the last few weeks and few days, and we are really glad. We're number one glad that you're back, but number two, we are glad that you are willing to share some of your pictures and tell us about where you went and all that good stuff. So I'm going to start with Victoria first of all. Victoria, tell us about your week, and then we'll switch over to Ms. Ruth.
Okay, Ruth, Ruth, I got to do something with your picture. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. I wanted to show y'all a picture, y'all. I don't know if I can use the other one. I can use another one. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Just one moment.
While she's getting ready, good evening to you, Serena. In the house tonight. Glad to have you, lady.
Okay, this is, if it comes up, let me see. I tried to put it up there.
You're not only on the bicycle, you are dressed up and color coordinated and jewelry accessorized on the bicycle.
I told y'all when I got the bike together, I was going to show y'all me riding the bike so that people don't think I'm lying. The bike is all put together, and I've been riding the bike.
You ride every day?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Let's not be confused. I've been only on the bike twice.
That is so funny. That is so funny. I applaud you. You said you were going to do it, and you have done it.
That's my week's in review. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I think that's great. I would like to say, usually people will see that and say, I'm going to do that too. No, not will never be on a bicycle. But I think it's cool.
Serena said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I think that's great. That is great. That's a great
That
way
is
to talk
good.
about the week.
It has been my absolute joy this year to really do some things that I never thought I would do. And one of those was to ride the bicycle. My passport application is in the works. I'm just, so next week I'll talk about something I did today, but I'll just leave that for next week. But for now, the bicycle, that was a big one. Serena should have told me that told me to stretch before I ride so my legs wouldn't cramp. Now, see, that's why I only been on the bike 2 times, because after the second time, I had to lay down. So, but I'm determined. I am determined to keep it up. We've had some rainy days here, so I couldn't ride the bike. So, but I'm definitely gonna keep it up. It's all ready now together. I got a little nameplate. I got the phone mount now, so that with my phone when I ride, I can have my phone on it. So I'm ready.
You sure are.
Okay. Yes, she is.
That's it. That's it.
All right, Ruth, tell us about London
and all other places.
Right. So, my husband and I flew out to London on the 7th. So we were what we were told was a proper holiday. So we were out that way for 11 days.
Wow.
London is just awesome. I mean, it just really is. Everywhere we went. I mean, and the fun part was we didn't know until like a couple of days before there was a tube strike, the underground. So we did a lot of walking. I think that first day we got 16,000 steps. I got 16,000 steps. The second day I got 30,000 steps. So
wow.
we were all over. And because I mean, so people who would normally ride the tube were now on buses. So I mean, you would pack in as many people on a double-decker bus, and there would still be people on the sidewalk waiting for the bus. So there was a lot going on, but again, this is our second time out there. It was just amazing. My daughter came, I think, like 4 days in, and then the next day we were set to go to Scotland, which was I love the whole thing, but that was my favorite part of the trip because I'm a history nerd and I wanted to go out to Hadrian's Wall, which is a wall that was built, I think, begun probably around the 2nd century BC. So it's almost 2,000 years old, what's left of it. And this is the photo.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah, so that behind us back there was the hill that there was that. So when the Romans set it up, they would do like a fort, which we got to visit, an excavation site of the hill. So the little bit of the wall that was left, there was a good concentration behind us. And the tour guide was like, well, you can go up there or you can just take pictures. He actually took the picture of us. And of course, my daughter stood on the hillside and she's like, I'm not going up there. And my husband's like, well, I'm like, well, I am. And you have to realize that it's not like steps up there. It's just stones that were left over the last 1,500 years.
Oh, wow.
So it is a cardio workout. And I got to go all the way up to the top of that hill.
Good for
and
you.
This was that was my view from the top.
Ooh. Wow.
Yes, it's very, very windy.
Wow. I was going to say it's a little windy up there.
Oh my gosh.
It was blow your little self away. Thank God.
Oh yeah, no. At some points through the path, you had to like pull to the side so people can either come down or go up. So it was just, it was an amazing. So after that, we went to Vindolanda, which was the excavation site, which is the fort where the Romans lived. Got to hang out there for a few hours, and then we came back to Edinburgh. it was just amazing. They have a castle on a hill. It is just the most beautiful thing.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
and then after that, we went to Amsterdam for a couple days. And my daughter, first time she went, she had an absolute blast. Unfortunately for us, our trip was a little marred. We got an Uber driver who we're pretty sure regretted picking us up because of certain skin conditions,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Sorry to hear that.
Then there was the bed bug situation, and it was just
Okay, so
it
everything's
wasn't
not perfect.
Okay.
the food was not bad. And we actually, so in Amsterdam, they have the Anne Frank house, which was where she spent the last 2 years of her life,
Oh wow.
hiding from the Nazis. And they took the actual house and they made it into a museum. And just going through it was an
Wow.
amazing thing. And I would say anyone who's in Amsterdam, make the time to go through it, because it's just, you go up. I think it's like a 4 or 5 story building. It was an actual factory where her father worked, and everyone, like the owner, the partners, they said, "Oh no, we're gonna hide you." They created like this false background, and they still, I think there was like 6, 7 people who were being hidden, had to be quiet for 2 years. They had to, you know, create shifts when they could use a toilet, when they could eat, when they could do things, and it was just something, because you follow the tour, and there's audio that you can go to it, and then when you get to the actual place where she spent the 2 years, the annex, it's just silence. They're like, the tour will resume when you come out of the annex, and it makes you realize, okay, that was 2 years that they spent in silence. So it was, and they had like examples of her journals. And it wasn't just that she was, she just did a diary. She wrote stories. She wanted to be an author. She wanted to be a journalist. And she wrote enough to fill a book. So it was an amazing trip. We got to go on a canal tour. And then we went back to London and just kind of hung out in Notting Hill that last day and did some shopping and eating. It was just an awesome trip. And I would say anybody, if you have the means, go visit go outside of the United States. You will realize how big and amazing this world is.
Wow.
Wonderful.
So it is. I can't wait to go back.
So sobering.
Yes. It was good though. It was good. And I am, I still want to be out there, but I am glad to be back.
Right.
I'm glad to be here. And
I'm so humble, right?
Yes. And I'm glad to be here tonight because we have an awesome author who is actually on that side of the pond. And Victoria, tell us all about
it. All right. Let me tell you who we have tonight. Mr. Richie Billings. Richie Billings, writes all kinds of stories, but mostly fantasy fiction. His tales often explore real-world issues in unfamiliar settings, zooming in on the characters and their troubles. His short fiction has been widely publicized, with one story adapted for BBC Radio. His debut novel, Pariah's Lament, was published by Of Metal and Magic Publishing in March 2021. He also hosts the podcast, The Fantasy Writer's Toolshed, a venture inspired by his acclaimed craft book, A Fantasy Writer's Handbook. When not writing, Richie works as an editor and digital marketer and teaches creative writing both online and in his home city of Liverpool. Most nights, you can find him up into the early hours, just scribbling away or watching the NBA. Well, when we return, we're going to talk to Richie about his book, Together We Rise. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome, Richie.
Good evening, Richie.
Hello, hello. Thank you very much for having me. I have to
Welcome.
say, you have very good music on your show.
Oh, thank you.
We do.
We have been told, yes, yes. So, welcome to Authors Up. We are so happy to have you on our show.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. Delighted to be
Yeah.
here.
All right, so let's get started. Richie, tell us about your book.
So, Together We Rise probably came about as a result of feeling very frustrated and very helpless and despondent with the way the world's going. And I just finished writing quite like a sort of high fantasy, and I just couldn't motivate myself to do any more of it. I just had to ditch it. I was halfway through editing this novel, and I lost inspiration. And all I was thinking about was what was going on in the world, and I felt like I had to do something just to sort of keep myself sane.
Wow.
So I decided just to take a look at the system that we're stuck in
Mhm.
and to critique it, but put it in a fantasy world. And it's done against the backdrop of a revolution, against like a sort of mirror image of our system, but in a sort of medieval fantasy society. And done in a much more extreme way, but I mean, it's still, I say it's extreme, but it's still very much real in part of the world.
Right.
So the reason why I don't know, I felt like putting it in a fantasy world, people may be able to relate with it more because it's a step removed from our society. And I don't know how you all feel, but when you see things on the news over and over and over again, you kind of just become numb to it. Sometimes you don't even engage with it at all. So
Right.
just reframing it and offering different perspectives on how the way the world is impacts people and their lives and the prospects and what it does to them in a sort of corruptive way.
Right.
And I decided to write the story bringing in 8 different perspectives. So I've got a healer, who's someone who has to put people back together after they're sort of chewed up by the system. Then I've got the worker, and then I've got the child's perspective, because I always think children are the sort of the sort of symbolic of like the cycle, that thing that people can get trapped in. It's like you can see people further down the line, and you can see children going down the same route, and it's really sad to see, isn't it? Just to see the sort of route mapped out for people. But I'm just offering these different perspectives because I think it's nice to sort of it's to show that it's like these are the issues that affect everybody. It doesn't matter like what side of the political spectrum you're on. We're all living and having the same experience, and I think that's what's really gotten lost in politics at the moment, is that it's so tribalistic.
Right.
But people forget that we're all in the same position.
Right.
We're all experiencing the same thing.
Right.
But there's this weird, people see things through different lenses. It's weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I did want to comment on that because, your characters, when you start reading the book, each of them had their own unique personality, but it felt almost as if, as you're reading it, everyone is an everyman. Everyone represents something, and it's not like it's, okay, this represents this. No, they have their own struggle, they have their own life, but you see either someone in that position, or you see yourself in that position. So
Amen.
I feel like, each character was intentional. Let's put it that way, and it was just, as you built that world and as we read through it, I could see parts of our world in it.
Oh,
no,
definitely.
that's good to know. Just out of interest, have you got a favorite character?
I do.
Honestly, I liked the healer.
I
don't know what
did
can put
too.
it.
I did too.
I like the healer because even though, it started off with him in a broken place, it was just, he's lost a lot, but he's still doing what he does.
Yeah.
So that I think he was my favorite one.
It's funny because I was going to ask Richie who his favorite character, uh, but mine was the child, Mal.
Ah, nice. Well, yeah. Yeah.
I could, the way that you have written it, I could just kind of see her just trying to navigate her way through. And it was very, it put me on the edge of my seat because I was like, oh no, you can't go, don't go that way, don't go that way, make it around that next corner, or So she was really my favorite, and I don't know, it could be just because we often forget about the impact on the children in whatever scenario it happens to be. But who's your favorite, Richie?
My favorite is, I think, was Kishto, who is the guard.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's a bad guy. He's done bad things, and I wanted to make that clear. But at this sort of critical moment, he makes a big decision, and he goes against what he sort of is being conditioned to do, and he realizes like who he was, and that sort of, I love that change in him, that sort of that moment, I suppose. And then he does play in a small way. He doesn't do much in the sort of the story from that point, but he plays quite a critical role in getting that gate open, so that the sort of the revolution can continue. So I like the idea of these sort of heroic moments, like the small things that like no one really sees, but are like massive, like sort of almost like life changing. And I don't know. I think I quite like a bit of a redemption story as well. So that's why I think Kishto is my favorite.
Yeah,
While I like the healer, I also liked Zia or Zaya, how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the worker. I can empathize with the feelings that he had. Like I call it the Popeye moment, when Popeye opens up the spinach and says, "That's all I can stand, and I can't stand this no more." That's how I felt he was, going through watching his child being sick and feeling so helpless. And then at that pivotal moment when Cheese died, that was it. That's it. This is our moment. We got to stop this. And I'm opening up my can of spinach in here. I'm passing it around to everybody because we go.
Yeah.
So I like that just resonated something in me, and I could see myself wanting to rise up and do something, but not sure what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you do in this society where you feel so helpless? So
yeah.
thank you. I say thank you for writing this book because it's very motivational. It's mind blowing to me. And I'll just go ahead and tell everybody, get the book. That's my tagline. Get the book. You will
Thank you.
enjoy this story. You really will. You will see yourself like we've been saying. So get the book. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Ruth. Go ahead.
Okay, so and I have to go back to it a little bit because you said I think honestly putting real life scenarios in fantasy stories, I think it's more palatable to people.
Yeah.
Because like Victoria said, you look at this world, and I made a note of it too, because you had an author's note at the end where you said, the day you finished editing the book, that was the day that Donald Trump was elected, for a second term, and it was just it was fitting. But you look at that world and you go, I don't know what to do. We were discussing it right before we came on the air. It's just like you feel helpless in a situation.
Yeah.
But when you see it in a fantasy world, when you see it in a book, when you see it a character doing that, I feel like part of you says, okay, well, if they can do that, I can do that as well. That gives me an idea of what I'm capable of, even though it is made up and it's not in the real world.
Yeah, I really, that's an amazing point you make, because it's like something that's become, I suppose at the time when I was writing it, the world wasn't really changing.
Mhm.
But since the book's come out, I'm not putting this down to the book, of course, but we've had like revolutions all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just literally started kicking off in the Philippines.
Mhm.
After Nepal, massive, they burned down parliament in Nepal. And then Indonesia, massive uprising there. And I don't know, I just think all around the world, France,
Yeah.
no one's really talking about how much of a, like, France is locked down. That is a
Wow.
general strike. There's nobody going to work.
Mhm.
And I think people are really getting pushed to the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely pushed to the limit. And nothing's getting better for them. Nothing's changing in fundamental ways. Only negatively. And I think, what do you do in this situation? It's hard. You look for an alternative, like someone you can put, someone you believe in, and you can trust, I suppose. But there's very few figures out there, and you've got a very strong sort of, the powers that be have got a very strong grip on things at the moment to try and suffocate anyone who does try and emerge. Just like Zoran Mamdani, like, he's just standing up for people. But they're going to do everything they can to stop him from getting into New York. Like, it's going to be amazing to see what lengths they do go to. But like someone like him who can unite people and just give people what hope is, I suppose.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's true. That is true.
Mhm.
All right, let's get back to your book a little bit. You include a soundtrack per
Yeah.
se with
Yes.
your book.
I
Yes.
love
What did
that.
you think of it? What did you think of it?
Music.
Um, so I did click on a couple of them and I liked it. I thought that they were great accompaniments to
The
the
chapter.
story, to the
Mhm.
chapter, to the character. So what made you want to do that?
Well, I love music when I like watch fantasy, like The Lord of the Rings, for example, and then listen to that soundtrack when I write. It like motivates me, and like I feel like physical emotion of it. Like, it's amazing what power music can have. And as the sort of technologies become more readily available to people, I was just messing around one day with this thing that like let you make your own music, and then I started playing around with it and got a song that was like, oh, this isn't actually too bad. And as I was sort of thinking about the song and a chapter, I was starting to sort of get into it and visualize it a lot more vividly in my mind, especially capturing them emotional points where you get big crescendos or big build-ups, and it's like people marching to battle or something like that. And then I was like, oh, but I don't think this has ever been done before. And because the technology is so new, and I suppose a novella with 8 parts, it's not too many.
Right.
Like, you couldn't do it for a novel if it was like 50 chapters.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But so this was just like, it all just seemed to make sense just to try it. I was also releasing this myself, and I would like of something to help help the book stand out a bit more in the sea
Right.
of other books, and also just to give the reader a different experience that they may find more enjoyable. It's never been done before, so let's try it.
I
And
think it
yeah,
was great. Yeah. No, I think it definitely was a asset. Um, definitely an asset to the book. So, um, what is grim dark fantasy?
I suppose for me it's more sort of gritty fantasy that sits closer to reality. Um, they usually do have some sort of like fantasy elements. There might be like dragons or something like that. But in sort of like the sort of detail, the gritty detail of life, and the characters tend to be a lot grayer.
Mm.
Okay.
Like which I just think, for me, it's more about the nature of the characters. Like, in real life, like, there's a lot of people who are sort of not perfect. Sometimes they have to do bad things because they have to, and they're forced into extreme situations or whatever. And they're the kind of situations that interest me most. So I've always had a bit of a problem saying what kind of fantasy my stories are. So I've kind of settled on grimdark because of the type of characters that I like to create. And I don't skip on detail. Sometimes, like, if it's too gory, I'll scale it back. But, like,
Right.
you will see people getting their heads cut off.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Um,
So we know what we're reading. All right, Andrea, what you got?
You all have just messed up a little note page. It's just about everything that I wanted to ask you covered, because I was especially interested in the music part of it, because
nice.
if your intent was to give the reader something different and something dramatic, and now let me tell you, you hit the nail right on the head.
Yes.
It was
That's
really, really amazing. When I heard the first few bars, I thought, "Oh, I'm in for something special here. This is really, really going to be something that I'm not going to forget." And I will say that to those listening, this is one of those books that is an experience. It's not just reading. But the storyline, along with the way that Richie has crafted the music, it really, really is an experience. And so it's get the book, get your headset, your headphones, whatever it is you think you're going to need, because you may want to have to adjust the volume up and down a little bit. But I tell you, it is definitely well worth it. Richie, I do want to ask you though, how long did it take you to write this?
Oh, thank you very much, first, Andrew. That's very kind of you to say. Appreciate that very much. It took me, probably drafting wise, maybe 3 or 4 months. It's about 45,000 words, which is nice to write. Honestly, I hate writing novels.
Oh wow! Wait, back up on that. Wait a minute. You hate writing novels, yet you wrote this.
You gotta edit the novel.
You said you didn't know.
Explain that. Explain why
Well,
you hate.
it's like 90 to 100,000 words usually, and this was only 45,000 words. So this was very nice to edit. You could get through this quite fast. Whereas a novel, I mean, I got stuck on a novel. I was just bored of doing it. I gave up. I've not gone back to novels since. I've just been writing short stories and short stuff, and I love it. It's great. But this was good to edit. I mean, it took me probably about 8 to 12 months to edit it. And I did work with a professional editor on it as well. So just going back and forth and making sure it's right. But I didn't do any beta reading, controversially. Didn't do any of that. So it was just me and my editor, and then that was it.
Wow.
What do you think will be your next route? Will you do something similar to this again, or do you think you already have something in the works, or what's going through your head?
That's my question.
So I think because there's the subject matter, I mean, it's quite heavy going stuff, isn't it? So I was like, I need something lighter, I need some relief. So I've started writing a sort of like a weekly online series about this group of useless monster hunters. So they used to be part of the best crew of monster hunters in the land, and they've broken away and started their own crew because they were getting they were the lackeys, they were carrying the bags and stuff like that. So they got fed up of doing all that, so now they're going on their own. And this world is like, it's overrun by monsters, and there's all these contracts available for these different crews to go and sort of kill or get rid of the monster and then get a bit of money. So
Ooh.
it's a bit like The Witcher meets The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but it's more comedy, more ugly than anything.
Okay.
So I've been having a bit of fun with that, but I'm sort of need something to focus my mind on next year,
Mm.
and I'm debating what to do. So I am thinking I'm going to go back to a novel after saying everything there I've just said. But I had a year off, so this one's going to be set in Liverpool, and I've already started it, so
All
it's nice
right.
Oh,
needs to carry
wow.
on. But I call it a Scouse crime fantasy. So
Ooh.
have you ever seen True Detective, the first series?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like cultish murder if no one's seen it.
Okay.
So it's like going to be like that, but in Liverpool, where I live.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
wow.
Okay. And your fantasy serial, then that is on your Patreon page, correct?
It is, yes, all free to read as well.
All right.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, very good. Victoria, since I took
Uh-huh.
that
Yeah.
question from you,
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was
I'll
gonna be
turn
my
it over
question.
Well,
to you.
maybe
We,
he's got a sample to read, an excerpt.
no, we've been having such a good conversation overall. I just think that you've answered, Richie, everything we wanted to read. No, about the book and your process and all that. But now it's time to hear things in your voice. We asked you, would you be able to read a little bit? So could you show us the book and then feel free to read from your book? Together we rise.
One sec, one sec.
Okay. He forgot to get the book, y'all. But that's quite okay. We enjoyed it. Look at it. Look at it. There's the book.
There we go. There we go. Sorry about that.
It's
Yeah,
all
that's the
right.
book.
No worries.
There we
Nice.
go. Couple of interesting facts about the book. Got the cover was done by Stuart Bash. She's got a very good art cover artist. He's done front covers for Stephen King, so it's quite cool.
Oh, nice. Okay.
The map.
Yes.
Cool. City map.
Oh.
So the city map, one thing I like about it, because it's quite detailed. I like the sort of inner
Yes.
workings of it. But if you go to the back, that is like the revolutionaries version. So they've scribbled the plans all over it.
Oh
Oh,
my
nice.
God.
You can kind of follow along as it
Yes, yes.
unfolds.
Love it.
Oh,
Um,
we were in the story with the characters.
But I decided to read out the start of the second chapter called "The Worker."
Mm-hmm.
About Zia.
Mine's my thank you.
So yeah, I'll just read the first few lines. I think it's good for sort of setting the
Mhm.
stakes.
Okay.
Why are people kicking off? This is why. The cough rattled around Zia's head as much as it rattled around his son's lungs. The crackling wheeze over and over. Poor lad could scarcely breathe. His eyes were forever bunched in pain as he anticipated the next agonizing spasm. There was little left of him now but skin and bone. Zia would do anything to stop the life being choked out of him like this, but there was nothing to be done. No relief but poppy milk for the pain. Too much of that would kill him, though. Sometimes, in the darkest hours when sleep wouldn't come, Zia wondered whether that would be kinder, wondered whether he was playing torturer, hoping for a miracle cure. Was it selfish? Was it wrong? There were questions he didn't have the mettle to ask another living person. Aloud, he'd put it to the stray cats in the alley, and he didn't like the sound of the words. Arica dabbed Marty's forehead with a damp cloth. It was filthy, just like everything in the shithole of an apartment. A fresh layer of soot accumulated on the windows and sills each day. There was no point painting the walls. They returned to their black and grey state within a few days. Dust and grime clung to everything in Smog Town. That's what they called this part of Pietalos now. When Zia young, before the factories, it was called Smotera, home to the fisher folk of the city. His pa and grandpa had been fishermen, and his ma had been one of the finest hawkers in the fish market. But Zia could never take to the trade. The constant rocking of the boat made him vomit. Marty broke into a fit of coughing again. Erica placed a hand on his chest as if trying to purge the pain from him. She clung to the hope that Marty would recover, though her eyes told Zia it was waning. Marty grew greyer each day, his breathing like the grating of broken glass. It felt wrong to leave them both for work, but he had no choice. They were already behind this month, and if they missed the rent again, Ilkar wouldn't just slash him up a bit like last time. He liked to leave his debtors smiling, as he put it, a couple of cuts to either side of the mouth. I'll be back as soon as I can, love. He gave Erica a smile, and she returned it, but there was no warmth there, just tiredness and echoes of times fading from memory. He glanced into the broken looking glass by the door for his usual final check before leaving. His green eyes were puffy, dark rings heavy below them. He was the only one in his family to have green eyes. Growing up, his ma said it was meant to be special, but nothing special had ever happened to him. He was small but wider than most men, unsculpted but harder than the anvil he bashed metal against all day. He didn't feel tough or hard today though, and he needed to be, more than ever. He put his cap on his bald head and, head down, turned and left.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Powerful.
Thank you, Richie.
Okay, thank you very much.
Powerful.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, just wanted to sort of get across the grim reality of like a lot of people in the world.
Yes.
That's not a fantasy, really.
And as a parent, you drew me right in. I was there. You know, I have two who have had asthma, and it's just I was just thinking, how would I feel? You know, my child is in such dire straits, and there's nothing I could do. I have to walk out hearing that and still go to work, still show up, still try to provide for my family. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And in his situation, he's like a bit of a leader. He's like trying to lead a revolution, spark an uprising as well. So it's
Yeah.
I suppose it's like the extremes that like the system pushes us to.
Yeah.
It's sort of like it's trying to strip us of all sort of like anything within us, any spark of fight, anything.
Right.
And it's in this case, it's getting them to remember that they've got the power.
Yes.
That together they can do it. Yes.
Well, if you ever hear that Victoria was out in the street with a sign, it's because of your book. Well, tell our listeners and our viewers how they could, get in touch with you, how they could get the book, and all that.
Yeah, so you can head over to Amazon to get the book. It's available in paperback and ebook at the moment, and the audio book should hopefully be ready by Christmas. So,
nice.
It's hopefully a bit of a Christmas release day for that. You can go to Patreon as well. It is cheaper to buy on Patreon. You can only get the ebook on there, but you can subscribe and get loads of stories along with that as well. Loads of other books. You can get novels. You can get short story collections and brand new stories as well. So Patreon is the best place to go.
Okay.
You could also go to richiebilling.com
right.
and just search Richie Billing if you need, because there's not many Richie Billings. Especially not many that write. So yeah, you'll find me eventually.
Good for you. Well, my last question is, how has the book been received?
Do you know what? It's been like, I was a bit worried about using like the sort of technology that I used for the soundtrack, but no one's complained about that.
Okay.
So everyone seems to have really liked it because it's an unusual structure as well, and people seem to be quite like the connecting and the relating with different characters. That surprised me. Like I was chatting with one person who'd reviewed it, and her favorite character was the drug dealer. So it's gone down really well, and I just really want people to read it. So please go and check it out, because that's the whole point of us doing this.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh,
Absolutely.
ours.
Well, Richie, we thoroughly enjoyed your book. I think you can tell that. Uh, all of the
Definitely.
aspects of it, and we really do appreciate you being with us tonight, late night, early morning for you, but we do appreciate you making the time to be with us. Um, Together we rise. That's I was thinking about that as we were closing out, and the things that you said about the book and what you wanted it to accomplish. But in the world in which we live, which sometimes I think is more fantasy than real. Uh, I would like to think that anyway, with so many things that are going on. Uh, that title, I think, will have more significance to us when we hear those words in the future,
Mm-hmm.
as we are going forward, as we are living day to day, and as we actually embody some of these characters and their struggles. So every bit of it, from the title to the cover to the music. Let me tell you, I've got to repeat what Victoria says all the time: get the book. This
Yes.
is not one that you want to miss reading. It's not one that you want to keep to yourself, because once you read it, I guarantee you're going to want someone else to be able to share in the joy of this book as well. It's dramatic. There's some parts that are going to touch your heart in a different way.
Definitely.
It is a unique experience. We don't always talk about the books and the authors and all of that as being a unique experience, but this really, really is. So I encourage you to get the book.
Yes.
Richie, thank you, thank you, thank you. So enjoyed you being with us, and so enjoyed the book that you have written for us. Thank you so much. And
Thank
Ruth,
you.
do you have anything that you want to close us out with, like authorsupshow.com? Or
Yes, we
I'm
have a
always
website.
tentative.
We have a website now. Please go to our website.
And a new logo, new logo.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria. No, check out our website, authorsupshow.com, to learn more about us, learn how to query us. If you're interested in coming on our show, all our contact information is on there. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just look for Authors Up Show. There will be a replay of this show on the ALH broadcasting this Saturday at 7 p.m. Or otherwise, you can visit our YouTube or our wherever you get our podcast. By midweek, the show will be uploaded. So I think I got everything.
You got everything. You do it
All
every
right.
and you do it so well. Thank you so much, Miss Ruth.
You're welcome.
And thank everybody for being with us tonight. Richie, do you have any final words for our audience before we close out?
No, just don't give up the good fight and keep a bit of hope in your heart.
That's right. Power to the peoples.
That's
Oh,
That's it. That's it.
That's it for tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. And as Ruth said, come on back. Come on back. We got a lot going on in October that we're going to want to share with you. So you want to be with us. We've got some travel stuff coming up that we're going to report. Won't just be Ruth this time.
That's right. That's right. We out of here
with one of our earlier authors. So you want to stay tuned and be on board for that. So that is it for us for tonight. Come on back next week. Make Sunday evening at 7 p.m. your favorite place to be, because you never ever know what is going to happen when you tune in to Authors Up.
That's it.
So good night, everybody.
Good night, Bronx girls. Good night, Richie.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night, everyone.